Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day of the work week. Oh God, we got to fix this. The freaking drawstrings on the hoodie. If Rick sees this, he's gonna have a heart attack. Rick from TC Paintball, fix your hoodie that I bought you, Eric Zane. What are you doing? Oh, it's all jacked. Oh my God. Hello to you all. It is a cold, chilly morning. Major storm blasting in. Getting set to get started. Maureen says, are you wearing a hat and a hoodie? Yes, it's cold in here, man. It's ridiculous. In the winter, it's freezing. In the summer, it's boiling. Think we need to go through with, little insulation or something here. I don't know what the fuck is going on. 23 degrees in Nashville, Tennessee. Are you kidding me? That's colder than it is here in Michigan. What? Maureen says you look like a little kid. All right. Look, yeah, it is. It's actually a little too warm. I've worn this long enough. I'm warm enough. Oh my God, I've got 8 million thoughts going through my brain right now, being that we are 2 days away from my daughter getting married. More on that in a bit. But I wanted to kind of open up because with final words on the big St. Gasman catastrophe. I'm sorry, St. Gaslight. Because, honestly, there's some people who will check this out because I'm the only one who will actually elaborate to some degree as best as I can about working with Joe. Because there are a lot of fans of the Free Beer and Hot Wings show who kind of feel a little blue balled. And though I can't really go ahead and speculate recklessly, there are just some thoughts that have been floating around in my brain that no one else is going to discuss because, there's more lawyers involved with the Free Beer and Hot Wings show than there are with this show. Ram says, so do you still have Joe's cell phone number? I have a cell phone number, but I don't know if it's his, but I don't wish to speak with him. I am not interested in that in any way. Nice try. So just a couple things floating around in my brain about all of this. Yesterday, some nice person posted on the subreddit, the Free Beer and Hot Wings show subreddit. Obviously, a lot of you Free Beer and Hot Wings fans who have come along the last handful of years have seemed to take a hard stance against Eric Zane. I'm not saying this to get people to jump ship, but if you are looking for some type of closure with the Joe ordeal, and I would seriously implore you to listen to the first 30 minutes of the Wednesday Eric Zane Show podcast. Eric is able to give you a lot more in 30 minutes than obviously Free Beer was in that brief orchestrated statement from Joe's lawyer. Eric doesn't bash the current Free Beer and Hot Wings show. He just gives kind of a perspective with his memories of when Joe first started on the show and how he progressed. Now, this person's right. I mean, you mentioned my name. This person writes, I listened to it and I liked it. The times that Zane was great on his podcast was talking about Free Beer and Hot Wings. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I would like to think that everything I say, though, is the greatest. Make no mistake. If I'm saying it, I will tell you that these are the greatest words you are going to hear all day. This person, and I'm not kidding. This person wrote, how does one find Zane's podcast? And, I don't know how anyone can actually get up the nerve to ask that question. Because if you actually just type my name, Eric Zane, and podcast, it's remarkable how much comes up. Literally every platform. Apple, my website, my social media, Spotify. I cannot believe that a person would actually ask, how can you say how do I find anything these days? You could put, how do I find my keys online? And they'd probably be able to tell you. My God. That's the big takeaway. How does one find Zane's podcast? Wow, it's a internet-based show. If only there was something I could do to find something online. Wow. The original poster writes, pretty much on any podcast platform, you just search the Eric Zane Show podcast. You're way too polite. Like I said, the first 30 minutes of his latest podcast from today, Eric gives his reaction to the Joe resignation and then does a pretty good job of pulling everything full circle in regards to a few memories of when Joe first started with Freeburn Hot Wings. My God. I actually listened back to that, which is a rarity. I don't like to listen to this shit. Yeah, that was quite incredible. Let me just tell you that though I have a massive chip on my shoulder, in particular with Greg, I really don't hold any resentment to Hot Wings. He might hold it to me. Greg and I, not kidding you, there was a little bit of me, because I'm human. When I see that he is going through some degree of struggle, I am so not over it that I'm like, yes. But then, like, the other side of me is like, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's how fucked up this is. This is so not finished. Okay? Like, someone asked me the question, are you happy that this happened? Small picture, yes. Yes. For that reason, and because this had to happen. And I really wish I could elaborate more on that. But I cannot. Big picture, no. Because I'm not happy this happened because of there allegedly are circumstances that happened before it that a lot of people were hurting. And in honesty, I'm sure Joe is hurting right now too. More on Joe in a second. The show suffers a setback. Will they be able to recover? Absolutely. I see on the subreddit a lot of people like, that's it. I'm out. I'm not listening anymore. Yes, you will. If you do go away for any amount of time, you will be back. There are plenty of things on that show, many layers to it that make it something that you would enjoy. I feel that. I think the great majority of people. I seriously doubt that there'll be a unbelievable mass exodus. I may be wrong on that, but I honestly feel like it'll be fine. On a personal note, Joe is out of a job. He resigned. Now, in my humble opinion, there was a reason for that resignation. And in my humble opinion, some things in his life that have kind of dug their claws into him affected this moment, made this moment a reality. And from the standpoint of human being and a drunk, in my opinion. Me, I'm the drunk. I am very suspicious about the level of honesty for just basic things with our pal Joe. And I think that if he is able to fix his life, it would require some serious soul searching, in my opinion. I don't know what. I'm under the impression that something is going on there that is causing this tailspin, and that's different than the person that I met, who I adored. When Joe first started, the laughy, happy, giggly, jovial person that made me very, very happy and made me smile. I can only question and wonder if that person is still in there to some degree. I haven't had a intimate relationship with Joe, so I mean, I only know one portion of him, and I sincerely hope that he's able to find some peace at the end of the day. Let's see. I also wanted to get into this a little bit. There was some more discussion, and a lot of people are like, "Yeah, I these audience members for their show, they don't feel like there's any closure, and frankly, you are not going to get anything else. There's some serious lawyering going on there that will prevent them from doing that." I think that if there was ever a moment where Joe was brutally honest with himself, let me just back up. There have been moments in my life when I have been a horrible human being. Most of you don't even know about it, but I have been beyond horrible. And there was a time when I was like, okay, I got to figure this shit out. And the only way this is going to work is if I start to be honest. And until then, there was no hope. None. And then I noticed that the puzzle pieces started to fit a little easier upon, okay. When I stopped lying to everyone, it started to resonate with me to some degree. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then I learned. And then I was able to focus on the important things to be able to be successful at, things like marriage and family. You know what I mean? And I think that that's key with anyone who has added many, many layers to their life that make things remarkably complex. Let's see. This looks long-winded. Yeah, a lot of the comments on my own Reddit page. This one in particular, Aram writes, the fans on the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show subreddit are fiery when you mention how, as he puts, I don't know if this is true, talented a contributor to the show Eric Zane was. They get so butthurt. There are three main factions on that page. 1, love the current show, hate Zane. 2, hate the current show, like Zane. I'd argue that doesn't manifest that much. And 3, hate the current show, but will defend it if someone mentions Zane. Ben writes, number 3 seems the most prevalent. Ram says, that's been my experience. I try to only comment when I have something nice to say about Eric Zane, probably to great detriment. You put yourself at risk. This person writes, I listen to both almost daily. I get downvoted to hell for mentioning Eric, and more or less the same on the dumpster fire that is the fan Facebook page, which is now filled with pissed off Joe fans. Aram writes, which one is worse? The page formerly known as Zaniacs United or the Segment 18 fan page. Guy says, I'm not part of the Zaniacs group, former Zaniacs group. Is it worth it? No. The Facebook group, Segment 18, is 10% decent content, 90% people who want to gossip about what they think happens behind closed doors. Yeah, you got to keep that active. Whoever runs that Facebook page, you got to let that gossip fly. That's what people are here for. You know? Let's put it this way. When it comes to the gossip, if baby Jesus and Allah did a talk show, all right? Let's say they came down here. Baby Jesus and Allah. Jesus goes, Allah, what's up? Allah says, baby Jesus, hit it. High five. Let's sit down and discuss the world. Okay, sounds good. They sit down. Buddha walks in as the guest star, and they start talking. And then John Lennon is the musical performer. If that happens and it's live streamed, no one's even going to watch the performance. They're going to read the comments. Aram says, it actually is an anti-sane Facebook group with mostly gross memes referring to a former Zaniac page. See if you can get in. I got kicked out. If you are a vocal Zane supporter, you likely will get booted. It's run by former listeners who I understand wanted to take over control of the show from Zane and were shown the door. I think technically the name of the group is Castaways or something, which, by the way, Andrea is so dense. She wanted to name it Cast-Offs, but she's so dumb. It didn't like register in her brain. So she started thinking Gilligan's Island and called it the Castaways. Like 3-hour tour SS Minnow, you know, Professor Marianne and the Howells. Corey says she's a dumb fuck. Kenny says Aram is spot on. He's a smart motherfucker. Oh, my God. Ryan says, for what it's worth, I think you're a tremendous content driver. Well, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. It's what makes your show so interesting. Sure, the Freeburn Hot Wing Show commentary at times is entertaining. But the rest is gold, my man. Referring to my show? Oh, that's high praise. I appreciate that. Hey, you know what I love is nice things said about me. Who doesn't love that? I know. I'm just kidding. I'm kind of a simpleton. All right. Let's see. I wrote some notes down, and that is it. There is nothing more to say. That is that. Oh, I take it back. A lot of people are like, what's he gonna do now? What is going to happen to him? Well, you know, being the world is what it is. If you were to type his name in, it's going to pull up a lot of weirdo shit. And I'm sure he's aware of that. So that's difficult. That's a tough spot to be in. So industry-wise, I don't know how that works. And just in general, how does that work? Fuck. Now, I don't know. Maybe he got a ton of cash. Maybe he got a ton of money, and he can just ride off into the sunset. And if that's the case, good. Really good. My advice is get to work. Get to work on doing what you need to do to be happy. And I'm not referring to going on exotic trips. In my humble opinion, that would mean 90 meetings, 90 days. If, by chance, there is something that could possibly be happening to you that requires something like that. Allegedly, maybe, in my humble opinion. All right. Final prep as we get into the home stretch for this wedding. But before I get into that, I got to say goodbye to a handful of people. if you are enjoying the show on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I got to kick you out. Go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live and watch the show, the rest of it on Twitch. If you're one of those, I got to get it as it happens because it starts every day at 8 a.m. Eastern time and goes till 10. So sign up on Twitch. It's free. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Follow the page. Give yourself a little username so you can comment. And also subscribe to the channel with your Amazon Prime account. I don't mention this enough. Subscribe to the channel with your Amazon Prime account. And then you can get the show commercial free as it happens live. Otherwise, download the audio wherever you download podcasts. I make it available on all the platforms. After the live show is done, I upload the audio. It's available shortly after Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of them. Okay? Very, very simple to find this. Don't ask on a message board, how do I find the Eric Zane? Come on, man. Jesus. So there you go. Thank you so much to all of you if you did get this portion of the show on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.